Welcome back everybody to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis for big mega cap stocks. So show your support by hitting that thumbs up button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, consider subscribing, and that means a lot to me. Now if you want to get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, my analysis in 3 days of live trading, definitely check out the Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. And now let's get right into it, guys. On Nvidia stock, it's up 0.28%, so another low volume, slow boring day in the market, and just algos are trading and market not really going anywhere. And if you look at Nvidia stock, definitely it's just wedging right here inside this wedge. So are we going to see another massive breakout to the upside, or finally you're going to see Nvidia stock breaking down and coming down and filling some of these gaps to the downside? So going into tomorrow here on Nvidia, again closing above 5-day moving average right here, 489.25, which is good right here. And if you actually caught the dip, I mean, it was there today to buy the dip and play and day trade Nvidia. You can see right here getting down to 490, just above 5-day moving average, and it was holding, and then this thing went back up to almost 495. So Nvidia now 489.25, 482. That's gonna be a major support on Nvidia on a pullback, and below that you're going to see a dump off down to 20-day moving average right here, and that is at 478.64, and then all the way down here 50-day moving average 464.27, and then 460. Now Nvidia can hold right here above 489.25. You're going to see a breakout, and that breakout should take Nvidia all the way up to this previous high right here, 505.48, and above this high you're going to see massive move to the upside, and I think that's coming going into next year if we get that breakout to the upside on Nvidia stock. On Tesla stock, is up 1.89%, and this was a beautiful trade that I took yesterday at 253 exactly, getting some 260 calls for next week. And I sold my runners today right here just above 260, going in the money, over the money, all the way up to 263.34, and now trading around 262. So this was a really good play, because if you look at my screen, it was holding 252, so why not take a chance right here? And I did yesterday. But today, if you look at my screen, there was no dip. This thing opened at 258.35 and it was gone. It was up 2% and still up almost 2% on the day. So now on a pullback, you want to watch if this thing somehow gets down here, down to, I would say, 255-ish right here, 5-day moving average. And below that, we also have strong support at 252, 246, and then this gap just below 241. Now Tesla can hold right here above 255, rising 5-day moving average. The next stop, if this thing actually gets that breakout above 462 and Tesla can hold right here, watch out for a big move all the way up to 278, and possibly at some point next year you're going to see Tesla going up to close this gap just under 290. On Microsoft, it's down 0.16%, and I actually played Microsoft today. It was up like 10-11% as soon as I got it, and then I got stopped out for 10%, and this thing went back up again up to 374. So if I was holding, maybe I would get out for a break even, but 10%, that is all I can afford right now, because if this thing actually gives up 373, 20-day moving average, you're going to see a quick dump all the way down to 366. So I didn't want to take any more risk right here. 10% loss, that is good enough. And I got out, but this thing went back up. And again, pretty much flat on the day, but not getting above 375. 375 breaks, then you're going to see 380. But look at this, guys. Again, I mean, this is just insane. We saw that before, and I talked about it so many times in my videos. Look at this, Bollinger Bands are squeezing right here on Microsoft, and that means one thing, explosive move is coming, and it could be to the upside or to the downside. We just don't know yet. If this thing breaks out above this previous high, then it's going to play out to the upside, and if this thing breaks below this previous high right here, 366, then you're going to see this move here actually playing down to the downside, and this thing will come down and fill some of these gaps down here, which market is actually extremely overbought, and it's been overbought for weeks, but nothing is pulling back. And that means one thing: big money, smart money, all are on vacation right now up until New Year, and then they'll make a comeback here in this market, and then we will see if this market actually really bullish and it wants to push even higher, or finally we see a rug pull here in this market. And another thing, guys, when market was going down, especially S&P 500 SPY ETF, it was down to 420, 410, and I was talking about buying the dip every minute, that market will come back up. By Christmas, you're going to see a big center rally, and this is not, something where you should be scared. This is the time to buy that dip. Guess what? At that time, so many people commented, oh, market is crashing and you're talking about buying that dip. When market going down, that is an opportunity to make money here in this market. Now, if you're shorting at the lows and buying, guess what? Now I've been getting comments. People are really bullish. Some people are saying SPY going to 500, 482, and all that. But here's the thing, guys. Things are extreme level right now. Overbought. Things has nowhere to go. So at some point, there will be profit taking. There will be downside here in this market. And same thing happened back in 2021 before we saw that big bear market for almost 1 year, which is last year, 2022. So be careful. You can comment on my video. I don't mind. You can say whatever you like to say. But the point here, retail traders, they actually get bearish when everything is actually down, and for you to buy and make money. You just don't get it. You think that, no, this is it. Market is crashing. I'm not buying anything. I'm buying puts. And guess what? Market caught so many retail traders buying puts pretty much at the lows, and then they got squeezed out. And even right now, they're getting squeezed out. So now it's actually the time to take profit, sell everything, go in cash, and wait for a nice, juicy pullback whenever we get that. And it's going to happen. I know it's been overbought for almost a month or so, but it's going to happen. Technicals, end of the day, will work and market will come down. And if you're chasing at this level, everything is high, no correction whatsoever. We saw that dip 2 months ago, and now hitting all-time highs. So you're getting bullish at all-time highs. Yes, things can possibly push a little bit higher, but what happens from all-time highs? We get a big pullback at some point, a correction, and whenever that comes, guess what? If you're going and buying at the top, you're going to hold a big bag end of the day, and that is not a good trade. And that is the message I'm trying to send, that when things are low and crashing, that is when you go and buy. You don't say market is crashing and I'm not buying anything. That is your opportunity. Market is giving you right there to buy that dip and hold, go long. And right now, if you're buying this dip, well, God knows, where this dip you're getting at. It's almost at all-time highs. Some cases, above previous all-time highs, hitting fresh new all-time highs like Nasdaq 100. So it's just insane to buy anything right now. The best thing you can do, hold a lot of cash and just wait on sideline until you see a big dump off, or at least 5 to 7% correction, and then you can go in and buy something here in this market. That would be at least a healthy place to get in here inside this market. Now here on Microsoft, watch the support 373, 366, and to the upside above 375, you're going to see 380 on Microsoft. On Meta, it's up 0.85%, and not to toot my own horn, I said it last night, early as tomorrow, which is today, this thing can go up to 360 and possibly can even fill that gap at 361. And we got really close to it today. 359 high for the day, and now trading almost at 358. So early as tomorrow, we can still go up to 361 to close that weekly gap on Meta. And look at this Bollinger Band on top, expanded all the way up to 362.56. So this should be an easy one right here. If this thing can hold above 355, we got that breakout today. Meta should be trading at 361 going into tomorrow. And above 361, you're going to see possibly retesting previous all-time highs and maybe even making fresh new all-time highs going into next year. Now on a pullback, this is going to be a key level to the upside. It needs to hold 355, and below that you're going to see a dump off all the way down to 343, and once we get under 343, then we can talk about more downside. I just don't see that happening this week. On AMD, it's up 1.85%, and if you look at my target, and I said it before that AMD can hold right here 138, you're going to see 148, and it's almost there. 146.25 high for the day, and now trading at 146. So early as tomorrow, you could see AMD right up here at 148, and possibly can go up to even 150 to 151. Bollinger Band on top, expanded all the way up to 151. On a pullback, strong support to watch 141, 138, 130 to 42, rising 20-day moving average on AMD. On Apple stock, it's absolutely flat on the day, and I was waiting until 11 a.m. in the morning to buy this dip at 190 after filling this gap and play it to the upside. And guess what? Dip buyers again doing a great job and not letting me in right here. It came down to 191, and just for $1, Apple stock never came back to 190 to fill this gap, went back up. So that was a $2 move on Apple. Actually, more than that, 193.50, and now trading at 193.15. So now Apple stock strong support right here, this gap 190, and to the upside, Apple can break above 194. 20-day moving average, you're going to see explosive move to the upside, and this thing can go all the way up to 195.34, the next stop, and then watch out for a move up to 198 to even 200, and who knows, maybe even a fresh new all-time high. But first, this thing needs to get above 194 20-day moving average. Below that, watch out for this gap to get filled at some point at 190. It didn't actually happen today, but maybe if there is a sell-off tomorrow, we could see Apple coming down and filling this gap right here at 190. On Google, stock is down 0.97%, and Google coming down and filling this gap at 142 and not holding this support, and also took out this support, rising 5-day moving average 141.69, and now trading above 140. So the next strong support on Google 140, and then this gap 138.77. To the upside, Google can break and hold 142. You're going to see a move back up to 144 to 145. That is going to be the next upside target on Google, above 142. Until then, watch this support down here 140, and then this gap 138.77. On Amazon, stock absolutely flat on the day, and if you look at my screen, Amazon kind of wedging or flagging right here. And if this actually plays out, Amazon can break and hold 155. You're going to see explosive move to the upside, and that could be 160 plus on Amazon. Now on a pullback, so far it's holding 153, rising 5-day moving average right here as a support, and below that we also have strong support at 150. So it's going to be make it or break it, one of those things on Amazon. If this thing actually breaks out above 155, then you got a breakout. If this thing actually breaks down below 153 and stays under 153, then watch out for a dump off down to 150, and then possibly down here to 149.18, and then this critical support 146. But I think Amazon can hold 153. You're going to see this pattern actually playing out to the upside, and Amazon can go all the way up to 160 plus. So Netflix also staying flat on the day, slightly up, and if you look at my screen, low for the day 489.25, and look at this 5-day moving average right here, sitting at 490 exactly, holding that into closing. And that means one thing, as long as Netflix can stay above right here 490, you're going to see a move back up to 500 and possibly up to this gap just above 506. Now to the downside, 490, 485, that's going to be a strong support, and if that gives up, watch out down here 479.25, 13-day moving average, and then this gap 473. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that helps.